But you find that for some of them who want to do high jump and long jump, the field events kind of side, apart from, you know, Chad Wright or some of the athletes who are staying now to do discus and shot put, most of our field events athletes are going away because they have not seen anybody yet say to bring somebody to that level to that, you know, they can say, oh, I want to stay because X brought this high jumper here. So you find that a lot of our field events athletes do go away on scholarship, but I think like it has to do with, you know, support for the athletes. A lot of them, you know, are feeling as if, you know, there's no support for them. Even though, yeah, they may have their family here, some of them are like, boy, I prefer taking a risk to go abroad. I'm sure of getting a work maybe after school or whatever it is. So it's finding that necessity for outside of practice, whether it be for clothing. I know some of these schools
just
abroad,
the basic,
they do
absolutely.
provide stipends for the athletes,
right.
You know? So I think that's some of the reasons some of the athletes would want to go away to see alternatives, because they're able to say, okay, if I don't succeed in track and field, I can just stay there and I can get a work or something like that. So it's very difficult, and I think it has to do with the athlete and what he or she personally wants. It has, you know, when you do make decisions like these, you know, where your future is concerned, it has to be something that you make, and, you know, forget about what persons will say. Oh, people will talk regardless of whatever, but it has to be about you. Like for me, when I decided to stay here, I weighed every single option, every single scenario. You know, what happened, you know, if I'm there, my mother didn't have a visa at that time, how would she come and look for me? Suppose I didn't get the scholarship that I said I was going to get. Suppose, you know, I didn't have any family there to say, well, if anything happened, I can go over their house or something.
And Maxine, so, one daughter.
You know, and I decided that, you know what, I'm going to stay here where I have family here, and I know that I have the support of my mother, you know, so it was a done deal for me to stay here.
I'm glad you brought up the discussion about the field events though, because again, you know, when you're at champs, and it's something I'm really going to have to ask them, when you're at champs and the fever of the track going on, sometimes you forget that there are field events going on in the middle of that track, and I'm just curious, how do they keep their focus when the stadium railing up on a race, you know? Somebody like Christoph Bryan, he is such an amazing high jumper. You know, Clive Pullen, and of course I'm just as guilty. The boys seem to stand up more in my mind than the girls. But so is it that we need to look at a better training program for field?
I just think that more needs to be done, period, for our
the entire field program, field events in
more
general.
Attention, you know. You find that even at champs, you know, apart from the fact that you would hear, oh, and in the middle of the field, you'll hear it probably once or two times, but not as how you'd hear what's going on the track.
Right.
So, you know, a lot more need to be focused, you know, highlight the fact that, you know, who is in doing high jump, get the crowd involved, you know, try to make the athletes feel so. And that's one of the reasons why you find that all athletes want to do sprints or 400, even when they're not a sprinter or a quarter miler, but they want to because of the glory that comes.
Of course, because quite frankly, if my coach says, you know, Sherry, boy, the 100 not bad, what? Try the long jump. I'm like, no, nobody not watching that. You know, so is it the coach that decides? You know,
it pretty much
because he sees the potential.
If he sees the potential, but like me, when I remember when I went to Woolman's my first year, and I was there, and everybody tried out for every single thing. Like they did hurdles, they did high jump, and I was stuck at the 100. I was like, you know, why didn't I get to go over the box, try the hurdles or something? And he was like, because you're a sprinter.
And this is the coach, was this Coach Carr?
Mr. Carr, yeah, Mr. Carr was like, you're a sprinter. And I was like, how do you know that I'm a sprinter?
So Coach Carr sum up the pocket rocket from a long time and know that sprinting was her thing.
When you look at some of these and know and put them somewhere and they'll immediately click with that, even while you have some persons who will do it for long, and then you find that they'll make the switch later on and then they find what works for them.
Hi Shelly, and although your hobby is a chef, are you good in the kitchen? And this is coming from Lisa.
Yes, yes. No, I'm serious. I can cook. I can really cook. But my husband is like the best. But he doesn't allow me much because of, as I said, my schedule. I leave before 5:30 in the morning to go to training, and then I come home like about 11 o'clock in the morning. Then I go back to practice at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then I get home at 6. So you can see that I don't know
Her
where I
rigorous schedule does not
put
allow her
kitchen
in the
that.
kitchen.
But
I want to to become an athlete.
but on Sundays, some Sundays, not all, I do try to surprise
Bring
my
out the
husband.
baked chicken and
Yes,
rice and
I
peas
love
and
baked chicken because
some
I'm
salad.
also an athlete. I try to stay away from fried foods and those
Okay,
stuff.
so baked
I-
as opposed
I
to
love-
fried.
Yeah, I love
Because-
baked chicken, and I make a mean sauce. My husband
Make a
is still
mean
trying to
sauce.
find out what I put in my sauce, why my sauce always tastes so good.
I wonder if it's Grace tomato ketchup. We don't have any.
I'm not telling him at all.
It's a secret. It's a secret,
It's a
guys.
secret.
Shelly not telling us
You
that
think
one.
KFC telling you them recipe? I'm not telling you my recipe at all. But yes, my favorite is baked chicken, and I love potato salad and all of those stuff.
Of course. Alexia, Swift Brown, are you on a specific diet as a part of the training regimen? And of course, Alexia, she had mentioned before that in the off season, she try and relax, but of course, let us address it during training period. What exactly are some of the meals that you're forced to eat? So,
To be honest, I'm not forced to eat anything, and I wouldn't say I'm on a diet.
right.
I just watch what I eat.
Because that would be a long diet.
Yeah, I don't think I'm on a diet. I'm not on a diet. I just watch what I eat. So, like at home, I would definitely I eat whole wheat bread, I eat whole wheat flour, I eat whole wheat pasta, but they're all good.
So
you
you stay away from the refined, the white
yeah, the
stuff.
white stuff, but
Okay.
I'm not on a diet, so I eat. You'll find that I'll go out for ice cream with my friends, of course. As you find now that I'm drinking juice, and I'm normal. I don't watch what I go, oh my God, I can't eat that because that having X. No, I'm not that type of person.
And you have to remember, guys, with Shelly-Ann's training, again, you're probably burning so much that you
do,
really
but
don't
when
need
the
to
older
eat.
you get as an athlete,
It
to
slows down.
your metabolism slows
Absolutely,
down, so
yes.
you'd want to watch what you eat. But so far, I'm doing pretty good. Like I came back from Sweden because when I was in Sweden, I had a lot of bread because, of course, sometimes the food is not what you want. So when I came back, my coach, of course, said that I had 3 pounds, and I asked him where did he see 3 pounds. Because I'm still looking. I wonder if it was in my hair because I'm having braids, so maybe it's my braid. It look like I have 3 pounds or
The
something.
hair waiting.
But of course, his instructions were do not go on any diet. Just eat and just watch what you
The
eat.
time is flying off. I'm seeing 125. Let me get Trevor's question. Trevor, if we could just go back to Trevor. Trevor's question. VW ad about Jamaica. First of all, did you get to see the VW?
Yes, I saw
I'm
that.
assuming Trevor's having the Get Happy.
Yeah, the chill Winston, yeah.
So based on Shelly's reaction, she found it
Yeah,
funny.
it was funny. I thought it was a funny ad. There's no way that I saw it insulting us. It's our culture. So I don't think it insulted us. But apart from the other commercials.
Other commercial, we know about that one, and
Yes,
everybody's
so I
perspective
personally-
varies. I
Yeah.
already declared my hand and said out of it, and we all have opinions.
Yes, I
So-
thought the VW ad was fine. And it just it spoke about that's our culture.
And
so
it
didn't-
presented us in a positive light.
Yeah, it
Didn't
does,
do any
yeah.
destruction or damage of any sort, which
Yes.
was good. So we'll
Yes, I
just leave
thought
it at
was
that.
Fine. It was funny.
Interesting. Do you do deadlifts as a part of the training? I honestly don't know what deadlift is. Do
Are you a coach?
the weight stuff.
Yes, I
If
do
it's a
deadlift.
coach muscle, you think, oh, this person probably from a coach.
I don't know. Do you do that? Yes, I do deadlifts as part of my training. And if so, what's the heaviest weight? Wow.
It's a secret.
It's a secret.
Can't give that
But I
information
do lift
out.
a lot right now. I lift more than some of the males on my team, but I do lift a lot.
Okay, so, again, the fans, they come in, love what you do for yourself and for Jamaica, enough love, and we always love and appreciate the shout outs for Shelly-Ann, which we get a lot on the fan page that is now growing, coming up to 96,000 soon, and we want to thank the fans for your constant support. You asked, and no, you can't blame admin. See, I did get Shelly-Ann here, and for those who would never join in the chat, don't blame me, you had a chance. So, to wrap up, I don't know how the trivia has been going, but once again, we're going to announce our lucky winner in a couple minutes. A brand new BlackBerry Bold, fancy touchscreen to come.
Yes, brand new BlackBerry Bold.
Shelly-Ann, you know, again, as an ambassador, you are a spokesperson for quite a few people. Is that a decision do they approach you and ask you, how do you decide who you want to represent and align yourself with? I know you have a bias for children, because you love children, so I understand UNICEF and of course your field of study, has to do with that. But how do you decide, which ones to support?
Well, of course, they do approach my manager first here locally, but I decide at the end of the day who I want to
Align
represent,
yourself, of course.
and it definitely has to do who they are. What do they do? Positive. I deal with positive stuff. So what kind of impact do they have? Here in Jamaica, and what sort of audience they're targeting. Like that's the kind of thing with me. If it's something that's going to aid and uplift young people or children or whatever it is, I align myself with something like that. So it was easy for me to hop on board with Grace Kennedy because they have done so much for Jamaica in terms of our sport and our Feed the Children program and all sorts of stuff that they have done for Jamaica. So that's something that I would want to align myself
Over
with.
90 years
Exactly,
in Jamaica.
and Grace Kennedy is a family brand, it's a family company, you understand? And I really do love what they do and what they stand for. So it was easy for me to get up and say, well, yes, no problem. I had no problem. And since working with Grace Kennedy, it has been a journey. It has been something that is so fulfilling for me as an athlete and also as a person, because they have given me the platform to speak at various events. And at the first time, I was so nervous. I was so this and I've grown so much with them. And it has been something that's amazing for me. They have watched me grow. Because I was 21 and I'm 26, married and all sorts of things, graduated, and that's one of the reasons I am who I am, is because they have allowed me to express myself and also grown my confidence as an athlete and as a person. So when I step up to a microphone and I speak, I'm comfortable because of the engagement and the support that I've gotten from being with Grace Kennedy.
Well, we want to thank Shelly-Ann for coming. Of course, I want to thank the sponsors, Grace Tropical Rhythms, for doing our chat. We have one last question we want to take.
No, the one.
Two
What
more.
do you see? What do you see? What
in
do
the
you
future,
see you
when
doing
running
in
is
the
no longer
future?
your focus?
Okay. Of course, it's no secret that I do love children and I have a passion for, helping them, and I believe that that's my purpose. That's my God-given purpose.
We didn't get the degree for nothing, and we're going to
That's
go
what
for
I
the
want to do.
masters.
I want to work with children who have childhood disorders, persons who have learning disabilities, the autism, the dyslexia, those kind of persons. Because I'm from an inner city where persons, who are children themselves would have children. So you find that, some of the support and the intervention that these children would need, parents they don't have the education or to deal with them. So you find that you'll see a 6-year-old coming home from school and his mother will be hitting him in the head and thumping him or telling him that him turns and him do up when there could generally be a problem.
Right.
Wrong.
And of course, this is something you have had first-hand experience growing up in Waterhouse.
This is first-hand information, so I definitely believe that that's where I want to target, because I believe that if we change the way we grow our children, change parenting, change, these young minds, I believe that when they grow up,
makes all the difference.
it makes the difference as a society. They won't be destructive and align themselves to something that will definitely impact the country wrong and themselves, because at the same time they're trying to make themselves feel good, or they're trying to make up for what they believe is their
It's
deficiency.
just an outlet for them.
Yes, so
You know.
That's what I really want to do. I want to be able to get involved with our children.
So for now, you'll just work through the foundation and.
Yes, I'll definitely work through my Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce Foundation Pocket Rocket Trainers, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to doing lots of things for our children and our athletes as well, because You know, they definitely need that person to help them believe that no matter what,
Anything is possible.